Display.
Okay, can
Display.
you
about these shoe sellers. They sell shoes. It's a shop where people go and buy shoes. So interestingly, they came across a very interesting finding where when someone comes and buys shoes, they bring a pair of shoes. This person tries one pair. And then usually, and we've all been through this process perhaps, you ask for another pair. They give you another pair. You try it. And then, it could happen. And most of us, and myself, I'm guilty as well. You ask for a third pair of shoes. So what they realized is actually when someone has three pairs of shoes, they end up not buying the shoes. But if someone has two pairs of shoes, they would actually end up to make the purchase of those shoes. So if you've noticed in most of the big shoe sellers, when you ask for a third pair, they will actually, okay, sure, but which one do you want us to take it back? So that at the end of the day, you'll only remain with two pairs. And this is the same, story for social and behavior change, I think, in Africa and in defining whose reality counts. Like this is a true example of shoe sellers, where a reality about three pairs of shoes and two pairs of shoes make a difference in terms of sell. And in social and behavior change in Africa, it is the same. Who's driving the agenda? Whose reality is on the table? Who's influencing what are the priorities for social and behavior change? And who's, influencing how is social and behavior change designed and implemented in Africa? For the past, I've been in this space for the past decade and probably decade and a half now. And the agenda really is not being set by Africans. How can we make sure we set the agenda? And I think, also the society comes at a time where localization or aid decolonization is the big agenda. For most of the donors, and USAID is driving that agenda. So for me and for most of us in this space, we've seen how that agenda, it takes different shapes and different forms and how it evolved and the challenges that it posed. And one of the challenges is actually having technical competence in most of the organization that either lead SBC, and of course it could be beyond SBC, but I'm focusing on SBC, so I would say on SBC skills. How do we ensure there is greater expertise on SBC, and that is African, not born but African honed expertise? How do we ensure we have continuity in our academic institutions, that we are producing enough SBC practitioners to carry on this profession when some of us transition? How do we ensure the lessons and learning that from one country to another can be applied? COVID-19 has taught us a very big lessons where some countries, when we began vaccination, some countries were far, ahead in terms of how they promote COVID-19 vaccination, and some countries were behind. But what platforms did there exist that these countries would share so that the ones who are coming in late would actually not make the same mistake that the ones that started have made? Unfortunately, there weren't that many of those, and most of them were actually at the very apex global international level. How do we ensure the reality that is on ground for SBC practitioners in one country is shared with that of another? And I think that's what this society is going to do. I think for me, this society is going to influence the agenda in terms of what is being prioritized. I think this society is going to advance the art and science of social and behavior change. We've, all of us could be witness. If someone can do a flyer, if someone can do a sport, they claim they're doing social and behavior change, which we all know is not true. There's a science behind social and behavior change. In this society, I think it's going to help us significantly influence the academic institutions to begin to embrace and include some of these gaps that we are seeing in our implementation in their training curricula. And also you may add it in a curricula, but we may not have enough wealth of academicians, in our learning institutions, in our universities in Africa, perhaps to teach, in one country, to teach this social and behavior change is a main cause. How can we then, how can society then help to bridge that gap? Maybe in Nigeria, where my sister Funke is coming from, there's a wealth of teachers and lecturers who can come and initiate these courses in one countries. And those are some of the things that I believe and see our African social and behavior change, African Society for Social and Behavior Change do. So for me, in a nutshell, the African Society for Social and Behavior Change is going to advance the art and science of social and behavior change, is going to help in networking, is going to help in sharing best practices, when it's going also to help by resources on implementation, on evaluation, and of course, at the very beginning, on the design of social and behavior change project. In that way, then we'll be able to harness the learning and lessons that have happened in one place and be applicable in the other. And for East Africans, we've seen a greater integration which is happening in East Africa to begin with. So I don't see a reason why we should have boundaries on knowledge, and the society, I think, is going to champion to break down those boundaries on the art and science of social and behavior change. So that being said, I will end my talk with a plea to other colleagues who are here from other countries to take on this torch. From Tanzania, I've strongly committed myself to take on the torch and establish the society chapter here in Tanzania. And I strongly encourage our fellow Africans in other countries to do the same, so that when we meet again, maybe in a year, we are not just talking about a society that has few chapters, but we are talking about a strong society that influences what is being prioritized, that influences where the funding should go, that influences our own government to prioritize social and behavior change and put resources. Because at the moment, most of our countries do not put direct resources on social and behavior change. It's one of those things that comes when things are not working out, then you're being called upon to rescue them. So thank you so much. And I'm very delighted to be part of this society. And I'm looking forward to a great, great growth of this society. Thank you.
Asante sana, Mr. Waziri Nyoni from Tanzania. And yes, thank you so much for leading with the torch. The question is for each one of you who are present here physically and those out, are you also going to carry that torch and light it and move it forward? So 1 year from now, when we come back, maybe for the next conference, we'll have results and milestones to share. Right now, we have people who are with us virtually from Nigeria, Kenya, Australia, the US, Ghana, and Botswana, and more are joining in. And our next speaker is Baba Funke from West Africa. So those who's trained as a pharmacist, Baba Funke has had over 29 years of illustrious career, developing and managing strategic communication initiatives in various thematic areas of integrated health and social development in Nigeria and Africa. Up until 2003, she served as the program director of Staywell Foundation and currently serves as the executive director of the Center for Communication and Social Impact, CCSI. As the pioneer executive director, her transformational and visionary leadership skills have been an asset, resulting in the steady growth of CCSI from a startup to a premium social behavior change organization. She's globally acclaimed as one of the leading lights in Africa on social behavior change communication. She's well known for her investment in the development of young professionals, serving as a role model for many through her resilience, tangible passion for learning. So Baba Funke is the convener of the prestigious Nigerian edition of the annual Leadership in Strategic Communication Workshop, which is a collaboration with the world-renowned JHUCCP, which she has facilitated since 2008 and delivered through her easy-to-do and richly innovative approach. Now, this workshop, which has built the capacity of over 400 participants, is a cornerstone in CCSI's capacity building mission and currently draws participants from other parts of Africa, establishing itself as a unique opportunity for health and development communication professionals. So she has a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Liverpool and a Master of Communication Arts from the University of Ibadan. Thank you very much for joining us today. Are you there, Baba Funke?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Okay, good morning, and it's good to have you here with us. Please take it away now.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for the opportunity. Hi, Waziri. Hi, Chief Kojo. Hi, everyone else. So my slot is going to be taking forward what Waziri has actually started, but maybe coning down on the experience for COVID, and then we can, as a network, see how the lessons we have learned can then be shared. And remember that Waziri did say that he feels that the society will be extremely useful for networking, sharing best practices, and then just coordinating our efforts in SPC in the continent. So maybe just to start, COVID-19 is the first pandemic that visited the world in our time. Some of the things that set it apart, it definitely is a novel disease. And with a novel disease, there's no expiry or end date in sight. It does have a global effect, and there are multifaceted dimensions on life, economy, political, all the different landscapes. The very interesting thing about the COVID-19 pandemic is it is rooted in conspiracy theories, and there are many, many stakeholders who are owning the turf, and some of them are a bit territorial. So how has the SPC framing changed in our regard? CCSI, as you